Hello, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the X39 Stem Cell Activating Patch. It is Tuesday, April 4th, and my name is Kathleen Nichols. I'm a Senior Presidential Director here with Lifewave, and I have the beautiful Laura Balzer as my co-host this evening. How's it going, Laura?
Hello, everybody. I'm very excited to be here tonight with all of you. I feel I've never done Tuesday night, so here we go.
It's called Terrific Tuesday, Laura. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So what we're going to do here in the next 30 minutes is we're going to talk about this most amazing, revolutionary, latest technology. But before we do that, I just really want to welcome all of the new people that are checking out this technology for the first time. What that really tells me is there is someone in your life that loves you so much, and they care about your health, and they've invited you to this very amazing presentation so that you can jump on the journey of saying yes to your health. So thank you and welcome to all of our new people checking us out. And of course, big warm embrace, Lifewave welcome to all of people that are on every night. So what we're going to do for the next 30 minutes is we're going to have two people come up, just real people telling real stories and real results. And they're going to tell their testimonials. And then Laura is going to tell us how the technology works. How does this amazing technology work? And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of the company, and we'll tell you how you can get your hands on this. So that's going to be the next 30 minutes. And we have an amazing presentation for you. So sit back and enjoy. So I'm just going to give you a little brief idea of who David Schmidt is. So David Schmidt is the inventor, owner, and CEO of Lifewave. It's what brings us all to this Zoom call tonight is him and his brilliance and his ability to see the future in regenerative medicine, right? So he is a visionary. He's a visionary, and he saw the future of regenerative medicine about 10 years ago. At that point, he went into his laboratory. He spent millions of dollars in research, 20 patents later, 10 years later, and millions of dollars. He figured out how to communicate with our bodies and reset, reactivate, and produce new stem cells. So he figured out that communication system through light therapy. And you're going to learn a little bit more about that in a bit. Big fancy word is photobiomodulation. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but for now, I just want to tell you that this 30 minutes is for information only. Although we have many, many medical professionals on our team, this is our medical disclaimer is that the information discussed here is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, right? Our patches allow your body to heal itself, giving them the right conditions and the right environment like you had going on when you were younger. So with that, I'm going to ask the Mr. Alaskan, John Nelson, to unmute himself. Hi, John. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely, Kathleen. Thanks for inviting me on. I'm looking forward to sharing my testimony.
Perfect. Thank you. So if you can tell us, John, what was going on with you before the patches? What happened when you started wearing them? What have your results been? And also, if you can let us know about Buddy, that'd be great also.
Absolutely. Well, first off, I'm no stranger to back pain. And when I was 18 years old, I compressed my spine in a motorcycle accident, lived most of my adult life with back pain, but learned to manage it, over time and healing. But in 2021, I had had an annular tear in my back. I literally, just above the belt line, I had ripped a disc, and it was absolutely debilitating. I couldn't walk for 24 hours until I could get the disc put back into place and stretch it out. But I went to my chiropractor, and he said it was going to take me at least a couple of years to heal up. And he said, don't pick up anything heavier than like a gallon of milk, because it would just be pretty debilitating, and it would get worse. But and even picking up a cup of coffee was enough to just really tell that there was some major issues there. And that was in August of 2021. And last year, my wife and I, we were able to acquire a nutritional supplement in a wellness center here in Wasilla, Alaska, called All About Herbs. And that's when we were introduced to the Lifewave X39 by one of the staff members. And I got to meet Kathleen on a Zoom call, and she was sharing all this information with us. It was just going right over my head, and we were on a sea of overwhelm. And she's like, "Well, we're going to be up there in Alaska in a week or two, and come join us at this symposium where a doctor had integrated the patches within his practice." And I'm like, "Okay, I can do that." And it's like a 5-hour drive to the Kenai Peninsula. And, I was still dealing with my annular tear, and I had been taking curcumin, a turmeric extract that knocked down the pain naturally without, taking pain pills that were, prescription drugs or anything. And I had been feeling it, about 3 or 4 days, before I went down to the Kenai. I just it gotten behind the pain a little bit. If you know what that means, you know what that means. It's just kind of a dull ache. And driving for 5 hours, and I get out of the car and I'm going, yeah, that hurt. Now I get to go sit in a symposium for another couple hours. Really looking forward to that. But we got in there and they started sharing the patches. And I'm kind of going, okay, yeah, sure. And my wife and I talked a little bit about it, and we kind of called it snake oil because I'd done magnets and I've done other stuff in years past. So they got to this ice wave patch, and Kathleen, she said, "Anybody in pain?" And I went, "Well, yeah, that would be me." She's like, "Well, let's put this on you, and and we got to move it around occasionally, either in a 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or a 12 o'clock position about 3 inches away with these 2 different patches." And she was putting the one patch. She's like, "Well, where's the pain?" And I pointed right to the spot where my annular tear was, and she put the patch on there, the tan one and the white one, in a 12 o'clock position. And I said, "Well, how long is this going to take to work?" And she's like, "Yeah, about 30 seconds. I was like, "Yeah, no way. Snake oil." But, and I gave it a full minute, and I'm like, "Nope, hasn't moved." And she said, "Well, we just got to move it." So she moved it to be my 3 o'clock position to the left. And God's honest truth, 35 seconds later, I went, "Well, that's just strange. My pain just moved." And she's like, "Well, where's the pain?" And I said, "Well, it's down over by my sciatica on the left side." And she said, "Well, that's where we put the white patch." And she put the white patch on there. And, again, God's honest truth, drove all the way home, no pain. My brain's just rattling around, and I'm just going, okay, there's a there. And so I started digging into it, and I started looking at it, and replaced the Ice Wave patch with the Eon and the X39, and added in the X49, and I was a total believer immediately. My wife, not so much, because she's like, "Yeah, it works on you. I don't have any issues." And then it was about a week or two later, I got to researching some more, and somebody says, "Well, they were putting them on their dog." Well, so Buddy, last year he was 13 years old. He's going to be 14 years old this year, and he's a sled dog. He loved to run all the way up until he couldn't run anymore. And he started having this really raspy, panting voice instead of a normal. He would go, and then he would lay down, and he would get up with a cramp in his back right leg, just all cramped up. His back hips were already atrophying and just deteriorating away. And I went, "Oh, maybe I should try one on him." And he couldn't hear anymore. He couldn't see much anymore with his, eyes and stuff. And so I took my patch off, and I turned it upside down, stuck it underneath his collar, and let him wear the next day. And 2 days later, I could tell a difference. And I told my wife, I said, "Dawn, I think it's working on Buddy." And she looks at him and goes, "Whatever." The next day, she starts paying attention. And after the third day, she became a believer, because 3 days later, he was acting like a brand new puppy again. He had so much energy, so much vitality. He's running around just happy as all get up, and just gave him some new energy and new life. And it was interesting. We went down to Hawaii, And we had some in December, and we got to meet with Kathleen while we were down there. And we had somebody dog sitting and house sitting, and they weren't putting the patches on. And we came back to a hurting puppy, and we started patching them up, and immediately we could tell the difference again. Not only that, but I've had better sleep. I had smashed my finger last year, and that healed up within a couple of weeks. And it's just I'm still waiting for it to grow my hair back. It's working on other things in my body. So, but I'm just so excited, and the people we've been sharing the patches with, it's just amazing testimonies, Kathleen.
Excellent, John. I just love the story of Buddy, because when you were on Maui visiting me, you even thought Buddy had a stroke while you were gone, right? Like you got back and Buddy was walking all crooked.
His head was cocked over sideways, and but he rebounded from it pretty quick after we got back. And we think he got kind of lonely, but of course we did have 2 feet of snow while we were gone, and I'm sure it was hard for him to navigate through that stuff.
Right. Yeah. So in effect, it kind of resurrected Buddy 2 different times back into puppy child, right? Puppyhoodness.
Absolutely.
I mean, the first time you said he's 13 years old, raspy, panting voice, cramped up, back, hips aren't working, they're atrophied, they're deteriorating, can't hear, can't see. On day 3, your wife Dawn becomes a believer, because now he's got energy, he's a puppy, he's got vitality, he's running around like crazy.
Yep, that would be him.
Yep. And then you go on vacation. He has a setback because the person's not putting the patch on him. Come back, repatch him, and then once again he's recovered from the stroke and living life and being a puppy running out through all that snow.
Oh yeah, he is totally a puppy running through all the snow. So.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And you navigating your annular tear, how remarkable, John.
Hey, it's working, and I can tell if I don't put my patches on. And I figure it's going to take a couple of years to heal that up, but my body's healing natural, and activating my own stem cells so it can heal.
Absolutely. And in no pain.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you so much, John. We're going to circle back around in a couple, 3 more months. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care. Wow, Laura, amazing results. I just love it when we can have the 2-leggeds have results, and then we can extend to the 4-leggeds. That's just the best.
Well, I'll tell you, being a wife, like many of us are, I have to chuckle that it took the dog getting results over the husband for your wife to jump on board. I just love everything about that. So kudos to both of you. I think it's just absolutely tremendous. But congratulations. That's amazing. So we had somebody who, again, joined us tonight. Really grateful that she did. Michelle, are you unmuted with that big smile when I said her name?
I am now.
Hi. Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining us and sharing. So introduce yourself. Let us know where you're from. What life was like prior to being introduced to the patch. Who actually introduced you? Because we always love to give those people a shout out, because that's a big deal. And then let us know what life's like right now for you.
Sure. So some people may know me as the web girl. So I do a lot of the website design. But I got introduced to the patches from Sandra Burnett, and she's been a long time client of mine, and she kind of was like, try this. And I was really busy with a couple of other things. So I got a sleeve of the patches, and I think I used them for about 2 weeks and was like, this isn't working. And I gave it away. And then within about a month, she had come to me and said, can you do a landing page for me on these patches? So I'm like, okay. So I'm researching and I'm looking at all the stuff and going over all the material, mostly like the printed material and stuff. And I'm like, what the heck? Why did I give those patches away? Because now I understood what was going on, because I didn't have any chronic issues at the time. So it was more, and I know now that it was working, but at the time I didn't know any better. So after that, I started using them on a consistent basis. And one of the first things that I noticed was, actually noticed a few things. Number one was the clarity. Number two was I had had this like real small tremor in my hand that had gone away. And it was sort of like one of those things because I would only notice it when I was doing maybe finer or detailed work. And I noticed, hey, that tremor isn't there anymore. And I also, from being on the computer, like right here, if anybody has tendonitis, I had a huge lump, like as you can see, it's not even there anymore. And I would say within a short period of time, that huge lump that had been there for a really long time had disappeared. So I'm pretty sure it was because of that, because I don't know what happened to it. And all of a sudden I was like, that huge lump that used to hurt isn't there anymore. So I think for me, it was more gradual and just seeing different things over time. More recently, I've always had really bad dry eye. In fact, the last 2 years, I had a really hard time wearing my contacts. It was almost like I would put in my contact lens and it would feel like sandpaper because the dry eye was so bad. So not only did I notice that I'm actually wearing a prescription less, so I'm wearing my old prescription glasses because I can't see out of the new ones. They're too strong.
Oh, wow.
But I put in my contacts, and this was maybe just 2 months ago. I put in my contact lens and I'm like, holy cow, like it doesn't hurt anymore. And I've been wearing my contacts almost every day now, like, which is so much better than wearing my glasses all the time. I love wearing my glasses, but it was so nice to start wearing my contacts again because I just couldn't wear them, or I could barely wear them for a long period of time with my eyes just being so irritated from the dry eye.
Wow. You know, I love this because, well, first I want to ask you, the lump you had in your wrist, do you know if it was a ganglion cyst? Because, you know,
No,
they
I'm pretty
can pop up in
sure.
the wrist.
My sister's a nurse practitioner, so I had her look at it, and it was tendonitis. You could
Okay.
tell what the lump was. I
Right.
mean, maybe it was part of that, but I definitely had some tendonitis. But you know, I'm sitting like this all day long on a keyboard on the computer, so I would definitely irritate it for sure. But maybe you're right. Maybe it possibly
Maybe it
could
was.
have been. Maybe it
Wow.
was. Maybe it was part of it. But yeah.
You know,
But
I
it's
think
not there
that
anymore.
all of us sit like that for really long periods of time, whether we're on our computer or whether we're on our phone. I mean, a lot of people are having trouble with their thumbs, and I'm hearing them after they're patching that soreness or that pain is going away.
Yeah. And in their
right?
joints too. My sister had one in her joint that just went away too. And that was a ganglion cyst that she had. It was like
Right.
right
Okay.
in there.
So I know you think, oh, I don't have much, but for me listening to you and maybe everybody else, it's those little things. It's like adding a pebble to a jar, right?
Yeah.
And little things kind of turn into just everyday aggravation in some little part of your life throughout the day. I mean, do you feel like you've just been freed from all
Yeah,
the
and I wouldn't say that they're just little things because I'm very preventative medicine oriented. I don't like traditional medicine. I don't like going to doctors or anything like that. So I look at it, the more that I can do for myself. I mean, who knows where some of these could have went. So I would rather be on the preventative side. And to me, I look at it like they're all big wins, and I still use the patches every day. I mean, I'm not going to stop. My skin is better because of it. I used to have definitely I had larger pores. My pores are much smaller now. I get a lot of compliments on my skin. But yeah, it's just all about being preventative. I don't want to end up in some chronic health condition because I didn't pay attention to it. So even if you're not seeing huge results because you don't have something chronic, well, why wait? Like, why wait to do something until something becomes chronic?
right? No, I totally agree with you. And I love that you and John are like, I know this is working. It takes time, and that you understand that, and you're all in, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. You know, you didn't even know that they were working, but they really were, but you couldn't feel anything, right? You give your patches away, and John's just all in, you know, and now his wife's all in. Thank God for the dog, right? So you know, I just feel like these patches give everybody, big or small or preventative, just their life back. And I love, it's just amazing. And I can't thank you enough for coming here and sharing that, because I know it's helped somebody today.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we have two different scenarios, two different sexes. Probably we didn't even ask, and if we did, I didn't hear. Real quick, Michelle, how old are you?
I will be 51 in 16 days.
Wow, you look fabulous. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
John, how old are you?
58.
Okay, great. So we have two different ages, basically. So how can these people be experiencing two totally different things and symptoms or aggravations or however you want to refer to them, but a patch size quarter is something that they put on every day, and it's addressing and offering a tool for their body to actually heal itself, right? I feel like so many of us know what masking the body can be like, whether it's for ourselves or whether it's for the people around us. And for here with this technology of this X39 stem cell activation patch, we're able to provide a tool to the body so the body can actually get to work and function like it did when we were younger. But how does it do that, right? Because it's a non-transdermal patch. Nothing is going into your skin. So whether you happen to be on a pharmaceutical or a supplementation or anything like that, please know from the get-go, there's absolutely no adverse affection or reaction to you using this patch. There's no interaction whatsoever, right? So if it's non-transdermal, the question always is, well, then how does it work? Well, it's brilliant because I know Kathleen was telling you about David. And the fact that, hold on, there we go. David invented the proprietary blend that sits within this quarter size patch, and it lies right here in the middle in this little piece of gauze, okay? And in this little piece of gauze is a proprietary blend of organic amino acids, water, sugar, crystals, and oxygen. And when these molecules come together, okay, it's not like your table salt or anything like that, right? But when these molecules come together, they form what we like to call a crystal lattice, a very tight lattice, okay? And that lattice becomes reflective, right? So still, how does it work? Well, it uses our bodies as an energy source. Our bodies are low-level infrared light. Now, here for me on the East Coast in the States, it is pitch dark outside. And so if I were to go outside, none of y'all would be able to see me unless you put on infrared goggles. And at that time, I would beam red for you. That is the infrared light, that is heat or energy, that however you want to refer to it, that is coming off of our body. Right? So when I take this patch and I place it on my skin, there's a communication that starts to take place between the energy from my body and the white portion of this patch. And when that communication takes place, it reflects back a certain light wave towards my skin, which elevates or instructs my body to elevate my GHK copper peptide. And when we elevate that peptide in our body, it is proven to then activate our own personal stem cells. They're all ours. It's our DNA, right? So we are waking up dormant stem cells that have just gotten exhausted over the years, right? We are now also making new pluripotent stem cells, right? These stem cells have the ability to morph or change into any organ, tissue, or muscle that the body has, right? Because remember, when we were born, if we can remember back then, right? We were born with an abundant amount of stem cells. By the time we're 30, 35, we're lucky if we have half of what we were born with. And I know all of us on here remember the little things that we started noticing when we were 30, 35. A lot of it was women in the mirror doing this, like, oh my God, where did that come from, right? But then we started noticing the other little things. Maybe we didn't sleep as well. Little pains started showing up here and there. I know for me personally, and I think many of us can relate to this, is that we didn't recover as quickly as we used to. If we said it once, we said it a million times. God, I just can't do that anymore. I don't recover as quickly as I used to. And then after the age of 35, you know, things started showing up, because by the time we're 60, we're lucky if we have 10% flowing through the bloodstream. So this patch is now providing us with the ability to wake up, mobilize, get our stem cells marching to all the various places in our bodies. But as you heard tonight, especially with John, he already knows that it's going to take a while for his body to heal and repair and rejuvenate his back. He is all in. And the reason that is the case is that we might have in our brain the symptom that we want gone because it's aggravated us for years or caused problems for us for years. But the body is so intelligent and so innate that when these stem cells get mobilized again and moving throughout your body, that body or your body is going to choose where they go first. Okay. And it might not be the back pain. It might not be the knee pain, but it might be, hey, the liver needs a little help, or the lungs need a little help, or the brain tissue needs a little help. Does that mean something horrific is going on? Absolutely not. That's what your stem cells did for you in your 20s and 30s. That's why you felt so amazing. You never even thought about your energy levels back then. Now, all we can talk about is, God, what time is it? I got to go to bed, right? So your body's able to function like it did when you were younger, because the minute or within 14 seconds of placing this patch on your skin, you're literally up-regulating or resetting, I should say, 4,000 to 6,000 genes in your body to a healthier, younger expression. That's just absolutely brilliant, right? And I want you guys to know, because I think this is so important before Kathleen tells you how you can get it and a little bit more about David, is that every 6 months that you wear this patch, the body reverses its cellular age by 8 years. Every 6 weeks, the heart, the entire cardiovascular system starts functioning that of 8 weeks younger. Now, with cardiovascular disease being one of the top killers in the world, basically, how brilliant and fantastic is that, right? And I love that Michelle said, I'm being preventative, right? You don't have to have like these things going on to start this. Maybe you don't like the family history that's going on around you and you want no part of those things. This is going to provide that preventative tool for your body to have longevity and constant repair and healing. So Kathleen, with that said,
yes, with that said, thank you so much, Laura, and thank you for going over all the results. And it's so true. You know, we all have stem cells, including the four-leggeds. And so whether you're wearing it for prevention or you're wearing it to repair something, it's benefiting you regardless of where you're at on your health span. And David really likes to talk about that. It's health span versus lifespan. And what that means is that, you know, we want to move into our later years, 80, 90, 100, and still feel 30, right? So if you guys just loved what you heard with this wearable cutting edge technology, I'm going to tell you how to get your hands on it in a second. So Lifewave is a 20-year-old company. We have 130 patents, and 70 of those are in regenerative science. So Lifewave is literally at the leading edge in the health and wellness industry of regenerative science. So that's what Laura, David, and John and Michelle were talking about, right? They're repairing, they're regenerating, they're reversing age. And that is why 70 of our patents are in regenerative science. So David's passion and mission, guess what it is? It's helping people feel better, look younger, and lead more joyful lives. And he definitely checked those boxes for Michelle and John. So like I said, we're a 20-year-old company. We distribute worldwide to 81 different countries. And so the exciting thing is that we're a really stable company of 20 years, but we have a brand new product, only 3 years old. We have amazing products with patents and science behind them. And really what happened when X39 came on center stage about 3 years ago, our company grew 15 times. And so I demonstrate that fact because it's just really showing you how well the patches work. So we went from a stable company that was helping a few people to, you know, a huge worldwide company that is touching everybody globally wide and really repairing and regenerating and changing lives all over the planet. So much to where we have grown 15 times in the last 3 years. So it's pretty remarkable growth. So we have 4 different offices worldwide: US, Taiwan, Japan, and Ireland. So if you just really love what you heard, I want to invite you to get back with the person who invited you here and just say, you know what? I'm ready to say yes to my health. I'm ready to get on this journey of cellular repair and regeneration and prevention and all of that stuff. You're going to start feeling amazing. So there's a couple different ways you can do that. You can become a preferred customer, which is a wholesale pricing, and you also have a monthly subscription, or you can come in at a wholesale kit and start sharing with friends and family and feel the joy of what it feels like when you start helping people change their lives. So just basically get in where you fit in. You can also check out startx39now.com. It's an amazing wealth of information. You're going to see a couple of videos about how the technology works. You're going to hear David talk, bunch of testimonials. And again, that's startx39now.com. So check that out. And also, if you are so inclined to share your testimonial on one of our podcasts, which we actually do 5 nights a week at 6 p.m. Pacific, Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. on Friday. Although tomorrow on Wednesday, David Schmidt will be live talking about some of the patches. So when David comes on Wednesdays, Lifewave Connect, we all hop on and listen to that. So if you don't know how to get a hold of that, get back with the person who invited you and they will get you linked up with checking out David Schmidt tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to see you back here again on Thursday night with Stacy and Marcy and some other great stories and results. So if you're someone that's got some great results or just want to talk about your story, because as we indicated, everything, any subtle shift or result is huge because it's just more joy in your life, right? More repair and more regeneration. Go to our teamcalendar.com and sign up to be a testimonial. So again, that's ourteamcalendar.com. Choose a date that works for you. Check out startx39now.com. Check out David tomorrow, and we will see you back on this podcast on Thursday. So thank you so much for joining us. Good evening and aloha.